Yo, what's good, guys? It's Austin here, or Luna. So today's story time, in my opinion, is a pretty crazy one. I hope you guys enjoy this. Leave a like on the video if you do, and let's jump into this. So this story time's a crazy one because it's not one of the only times this has happened. This has actually happened more than one time. If you've been subbed to this channel for a long time, you've probably heard the first story time that was kind of similar to this one, but this one's a whole different situation. Now, growing up in my hometown and in LA, I've had tons of friends that are in college, and when you're in college, a lot of your money goes to college. Like, a good portion of it, if not a majority of it. Now you're probably like, Austin, why does that matter? Well, when you're a young kid and you don't have a bunch of money coming in, you can't always afford the nicest car, okay? So a lot of my friends have really old used cars. Now, personally, I could care less what type of car somebody has. Like, I'm not going to judge somebody based on their car and how expensive it is. But because some of my friends would drive older used cars, sometimes they were more prone to problems. Sometimes those problems while we're driving. So this story time starts off as a very normal day, okay? I was with my friend, hanging out with him. It was 2018. It was the summertime. It was a nice time, okay? Now let's just call this friend Michael, okay? Now Michael's car was a super old Honda Civic. And not like a super nice Honda Civic that had a bunch of work done to it and, like was really cool. It was an old Honda Civic that he bought used for like $200. And when you buy a car for $200, you're probably going to get some problems along with it at some point. But for the most part, this car actually worked pretty well. Like, we drove around in it all the time. And for most of the time, it worked really well, actually. Like, sometimes there'd be problems. Like, the speakers would sometimes make funny noises and, not work very well. But in terms of the car running and driving well, for the most part, it was great. Like, me and my friend were actually surprised by it. We'd always make this joke. We'd be like, wow, I wonder when the day's going to come where it just completely shits out on the road. And I always would joke about that, but I never thought it would actually happen. But to be honest, it was very likely. I don't know why I thought that. And then the day finally came where it did. So yeah, like I said earlier, me and my friend, we were hanging out. It was a very normal day, 2018 summer. And that night came along and we were going to a party. And the party was 40 minutes away. It was at my friend's house. He just moved all the way like 2 towns over. So it was a 40-minute drive. And my friend offered to drive me there in his Honda Civic. And I was like, yeah, why not? I didn't have a single second guess about that. I was like, this car's been running for so long. It works great. I don't know how he got it for so cheap because it works so well. Like, nothing could ever go wrong, right? Nah, nothing. Yeah, I shouldn't have thought that way. Because me and my friend got in the car and we embarked on this 40-minute drive to this party at like 10 at night. It was really dark at this point. And yeah, we were just driving there thinking that it was going to be a normal night, like a normal party night, right? So we get about halfway through this drive. Now, the roads we were driving on at this point were not like the roads we would usually drive on. Usually the roads we'd drive on were in our town, and they were well lit, and, not super curvy or bumpy. But at this point, we had reached the country roads, so the speed limits would fluctuate all the time. There was basically no streetlights whatsoever, and the roads were super curvy. So we'd be driving on like a flat road for like a couple minutes, and all of a sudden we'd be on a downward slope that was super steep for like a whole minute and a half. But it was no big deal. His car was handling it super well. I didn't notice any problems, neither did he. We were just driving like we normally would, and I was blasting music in the passenger seat. And then something happened. Something that I did not expect, something that was very scary, and something that could have ended way worse than it did. So me and my friend are driving down this flat road, this flat country road, and all of a sudden it slopes down to a very steep hill. And this is like a mile-long hill. It's a very long downward slope. So if there was any time for his car to completely shit the bed and stop working, it was not on this hill. Like, that would be very bad timing. So me and my friend are going down this hill in his car, and he was speeding a little bit. I don't remember how bad he was speeding, but I remember he was going around 45 or 50, and most of the country roads in my area are between 25 and 30 miles per hour. So we're going down this hill, and I'm just blasting music. I have it turned up to the complete max. Like, I can't hear a thing. And all of a sudden, I feel someone like tap my arm like really, really aggressively. And I turn over and it's my friend and he looks terrified. So I turn down the volume. He's like, yo, dude, brakes. The brakes aren't working. And I'm thinking like, okay, he's fucking with me. I'm like, you're fucking with me. He's like, no, dude, the brakes aren't working. And he's slamming on the brakes. I can see his feet doing it. And like, I hear the noise. And I'm like, yo, what? He's like, dude, we're going down a hill. Like, we're almost going 50. Bro, I can't stop. And there's like half this hill left. We're not even done going down this hill. So the car is not slowing down. So I look ahead and there's nothing in our way, which is good. We're on a country road that's completely empty and dark. But that kind of made it even more terrifying. But luckily there was nothing in our way. So we're just coasting down this hill, hoping that when we get to the bottom of it, the car will start slowing down and that we'll be okay. But we're freaking out. Like, we're not able to stop. The brakes are not working. And we're going down a hill. Like, there could be a lot of different outcomes in this situation. So we're going down this hill, just hoping that when we get to the bottom of it, it slows down. And then, of course, just our luck, we look ahead, and his headlights can see eyes in the middle of the road, like 2 glowing green eyes. And me and my friend both look at each other, and we know what that meant. It was a deer. There was just a deer standing in the middle of this country road at the bottom of the hill, and our car is coming down this hill, not slowing down at all. So either this deer moves and we don't hit it, or my friend tries to swerve around the deer and we don't hit it that way. But either way, there was a chance that we might hit this deer, and that would make the whole situation 10 times worse. So we get to the bottom of the hill, and my friend swerves the car into the other lane, and the deer jumps in the opposite direction, like completely out of our way, luckily. So we didn't hit the deer, which was a great thing. Like, that would have made everything way worse. But we're still coasting pretty fast down this country road with no working brakes. And I keep telling my friend, I'm like, yo, keep trying the brakes. He's like, bro, I am. They're not working. I'm like, all right, well, just keep trying. So he keeps trying, and we're not slowing down. The brakes aren't working. So we're just still coasting down this country road, hoping that it stops. And luckily, because we were at the bottom of this hill and off of it, we started to slow down naturally, which was great. So now our only focus was hoping that this car would slow down and we could pull over safely and call for help. So we just wait and wait and wait, and finally the car slows down enough to where it was almost completely stopped, and we pull off the car onto the side of the road into the grass, and it completely stopped, which was great, like, very good thing. So my friend calls his dad. Now luckily, my friend's dad owns a tow truck company, which was very lucky and unlucky for us at the same time. You'll find out why in a moment. So my friend's dad drives almost 40 minutes out to the middle of nowhere to come help my friend tow his car back home. But the thing was, my friend's dad didn't know that we were going to a party. So I was fine, obviously. Like, I'm an adult, I can do whatever I want, and so is my friend. But he still lives under his dad's roof, and his dad was a very strict guy. So when he found out that his son lied to him about where he was going and that he was going to a party, he starts freaking the hell out. Like, he's so mad. So he gets the car, like, on the tow, and he drives off with the car without us. As he was getting in the truck, my friend goes, Dad, what about us? He goes, nah, find a ride home. You lied to me. And he drives off. Now, I understand his dad's frustration, but, like, bro, leaving your son and his friend that did nothing wrong in the middle of nowhere where there's probably bears or something, I don't know, man. Not a good idea. Now, the good thing is we were pretty close to my friend's party at this point. We were probably like 5 or 10 minutes away from his house. So we called a bunch of our friends that were at that house and that weren't drinking. And one of them came and picked us up and brought us back to the party. So we still got to go to the party. We had a great party. It was really fun. And later that night, after the party was over, one of my friends who also wasn't drinking drove us back home to my house. And we stayed there for the night because my friend did not want to go home because his dad was so pissed at him. Now, in the end, my friend ended up buying a new car. He bought a new one like a month later, like a really nice one actually, which was really cool. I was happy for him. But the whole month prior to that, he was grounded because his dad found out that he still went to that party. So that wasn't good for him. But yeah, in the end, everything was okay. And that's all that matters. Like, it could have gone a lot worse. Like, if that would have happened on a busy street, that could have ended so much worse. Like, we're lucky we were in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, guys, moral of this story is don't speed and make sure you keep an eye on your car and make sure it gets inspected frequently. But yeah, guys, I hope you enjoyed this story time. If you did, please leave a like on the video. I'd really appreciate it. Feel free to leave your story times in the comments down below. And subscribe if you're new. I'll see you all later. Peace. And I'm like, what's up? They leave me out for the dead, and now they know they're